Do you guys know there's a test in psychology where you get to see various human faces, some of them like Mr. Beast's thumbnails, and you have to accurately describe what emotion you see in those faces. And I showed this to my Discord server, and I was like, what is the emotion that you see here? And many people gave me some answers, but none of them seem to be justified for what's going on. So apparently this gentleman by the name of Keith Olbermann wants Elon Musk's entire businesses to be absolutely destroyed over a tweet. Like this is the mentality, this is the morality of the United States of America. And many people will say, well, it's leftist morality. It is, but it is the establishment of the US, right? Like, obviously not every single individual, but when you look at the representatives, when you look at the whole and the people in power, this is the correct way of thinking. To destroy several businesses, get people unemployed, have people out of a job, massive consequences to the economy, over a tweet. But what's even more interesting is that this gentleman, by the name of Keith Olbermann, would be severely affected without Twitter. The main reason that people know who he is due to the fact of Twitter. And this week I have seen so many leftists wanting, like you get to see here, the government, the USA government must shut down this horrible social media website which is doing damage and harm to our kids. Meanwhile, you have TikTok, which is sharing the letter. And the level of anti-Semitismus that you can find on TikTok is mountains greater than that of Twitter. But Elon Musk, Elon Musk. It feels as if, this is my take, as someone from the outside looking in, it feels as if there are many individuals that dislike Elon Musk for reasons that the public do not agree with. For example, allowing the peasants to come back on Twitter, or allowing the peasants to express their opinions. And due to that, they don't like Elon Musk. They got outright say it, like no one agrees. Like, okay, well, he unbanned the company. So they're waiting for a reason. It's like, come on, Elon, do something, come on. And when the reason is given, all these individuals look unhinged because, again, like they do not care about what else is happening in the grand scheme of things. Like they do not care over the fact that on TikTok you have Osama's letter being shared en masse. And many individuals agreeing with it, which is incredibly concerning. And that like if you're literally concerned about the culture, you would start with that, right? Like you would start when things are worse. You don't start where, oh my God, Elon Musk said a tweet. And, like completely unhinged rhetoric as well as like the government needs to step down. Okay, so let's assume that someone would actually say genuinely anti-Semitic things over the phone. Should the government shut down the phone company like the Soviet Union did when Chernobyl exploded? If someone posts an anti-Semitic letter, should the government now start looking through every person's mail? Should the government start shutting down the postal office? Like they did in the Soviet Union or in Nazi Germany? Like, is this the standard? I noticed that the word freedom and liberty doesn't ever get mentioned in the press anymore. Did you notice that? I mean, when I grew up, especially during the 90s, there was a lot of Hollywood movies that came from America, and it was impossible to separate America from the concept of freedom. You had the Liberty Hawk and all of that shit. But no, now the word freedom doesn't even exist. So, we get articles such as this. DeSantis wouldn't condemn. And I'm thinking like, how many times have I not seen this play? It's a feeling of deja vu that I can't shake off. Every single time you find a person tweeting something on the right, whether it's Donald Trump, now apparently it's Elon Musk, an army of microphones directed to every single right-winger. But do you condemn? Do you disavow? Do you agree with this? And I never see this being done on the left. Like, for example, Greta Thunberg was marching a couple of days ago going, anti-capitalista, anti... Where is the army of microphones pointed towards left-leaning politicians that endorsed her or actors? It's like, do you condemn? Do you disavow? Do you... Blah, 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 blah. You know, imagine like this, right? I just want to point out how it's like. In the United States, there's like 350 million people, give or take, right? Every day there's probably a rape going on. Imagine if like journalists would always go to AOC and be like, but do you condemn? Do you disavow? Like the implication would be that you're agreeing with it, right? That's literally what the implication is. Like someone is minding their own business. Like if someone came up to you with the microphone, like, there was a rape happening. Do you disavow? Do you disavow? So, what was the post? Well, the post, apparently, wasn't even made by Elon Musk. He just posted under it. And I'm paraphrasing right now. But it tries to explain why so many people are anti-Semitic on Twitter. And it seemed to have been one person's opinion, which stated the fact that a lot of the woke ideology is the reason for the rise of anti-Semitism lately, which was sparked by the conflict in the Middle East. So you have a lot of young woke people, the same ones that are sharing the letter on TikTok, and they're basically looking at it from the prism of oppressor-oppressed. They're looking at it from the prism of anti-capitalism, of white privilege, of all of this shit, which has been taught in universities. So basically, that person is saying that the same ideology, which was to attack white people until now with like white privilege, America is systemically racist country, decolonializing, like all of these ideologies that were used to target cisgender hetero white male, what is now being used to target a subsection of the heteronormative cisgender white males, which happen to be Jewish. Right? And that post also pointed out that it started in the academia and some of the people pushing it were Jewish as well. This infuriated the ADL. And the ADL was really furious. And I'm thinking like, okay, but like on the ADL's website, it's okay to be white is considered a hate symbol. Also on the ADL's website, you had a change of definition of racismus. I think like they changed it back again, but basically they were implying that you can't be racist towards white people because racism is privilege plus power. Like many of you who have woke friends probably heard this definition. So like, instead of being like, all right, well, this is a concerning issue. Like this is indeed a concerning problem. Like this ideology is actually causing anti-Semitism. So we need to figure out a way to deal with it, you know, have some counter arguments. Right? No, they're attacking Elon Musk. And my favorite is the way that the press is doing it. It's like, according to the ADL, the highest number since the human rights group started counting, which includes about 200 rallies, we notice a rise in anti-Semitism. And they're trying, the journalists here are trying to link it to Twitter. It's like, I'm sorry, it's got nothing to do with Twitter. Any person with eyes and a brain can see what's happening. Especially in Europe, there were borders wide open. A lot of refugees from the Middle East came into Europe, and they brought their ideology and politics with them. So when things are happening in the Middle East, it's obvious which side they're going to back. Like, think about it this way. If you take 500,000 Romanians and you take them into another country, let's say the United States, and then there's a conflict between Romania and Russia, which side do you think the Romanians from the United States are going to back? I mean, it's not rocket science. In fact, it's even expected. So if you're going to massively import individuals from the Middle East, you're going to also import that culture. And it's also expected that Jewish people will side with Israel for the same reason. But apparently, we're not going to have that conversation because it's too complex. It requires too many words to have, right? So instead, we're going to blame it on Twitter. As if Twitter didn't exist, the levels of anti-Semitism would die down. I haven't seen up until now a connection between an actual hate incident that happened in real life. Like, for example, there was an old man that actually died at one of these rallies. It was a Jewish man. Yeah, he was elderly, got shoved. But I haven't seen like anyone trying to link that to Twitter. In fact, I haven't seen any of these incidents being linked to Twitter. Haven't seen the German police say it. Haven't seen judges claiming it. But okay, you know, like I'm pretty sure that it's Twitter. Yes, absolutely. If you shut it down, it's Elon Musk. Elon Musk is to blame for the conflict. Of course. Let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.